Today, I'm going to answer a question from a question box about overwhelm and managing when I have a lot to do.
Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Up in My Business. I am so pumped to record today. It's Friday. June gloom is definitely here, but it burns off by noon, and I'm looking at the sun trying to peek out. We're preparing for our trip, and it always gets to be a little bit like of a weird balance the week before you leave for a vacation, because you have to get a lot of shit done to prep for vacation. It's almost like in my brain, I'm like, I could just stop working. Like I could do that, but it's like the podcast, the newsletter, etc. So I obviously set everything up to be ready to go and to release accordingly so that I don't miss a week. And so when vacation comes around, which I'm like, yay, I'm so grateful I get to take a vacation. And I will also say the other side of that, which any business owner is very well aware of, you have a lot of prep work. So Shantae and I are both working a lot today to basically prep for vacation, which, yes, what a blessing. And also it just creates a lot of work, which also feeds in perfectly to what my topic is today for the podcast based on a question that I received in the question box that I put up a couple weeks ago. But before I dive in, just some personal business stuff. Nothing crazy going on personal wise. Everything is same old, same old. Always feel really grateful to say that. Obviously we're traveling. And after we get back from this trip, like we have nothing planned for a very long time, probably until Thanksgiving, which is really nice because we traveled a lot last year and it's always great to be here in the summer. I am one of those perpetual weather checkers when it comes to travel. And so I'm really trying to not check the weather for Gstaad right now in Switzerland, because the last time I checked it said it was going to be raining, and the big heat wave week is actually this week. And I'm like, son of a bitch, we missed it by a week. Because we're going to be in the mountains. So if you're familiar with mountain weather is kind of like, it's always chillier. You kind of have the chance of like, oh, it's going to rain this minute. Oh, it's thunderstorming this other minute, just because you're like in the mountains. So last year when we went, it was a heat wave week, and it was like, they never get that warm of weather. It's so sunny and it was so nice. So I'm like, oh my God. And when I looked the other day, like, you know how inaccurate weather forecasts are 10 days out, but I'm like, God, I hope the freaking weather shifts, because man, oh man, it did not look like it was going to be a ton of like sun, which is, whatever. You can't do anything about it. And the experience is what matters, but it's definitely, I'm yawning. Woof. It's definitely more enjoyable, as is anything, when you're not in rain. So yeah, I would be lying to you if I said that I, for lack of better terms, am hoping that it's not going to rain the whole time. All right. So with that being said, the only other thing that I have is if you want any sort of website refresh, SEO implementation, SEO baseline setting, all of the services that I offer, I am booking into August and September. My schedule is severely limited. I say that because I am pretty much at capacity with my retainer clients and Lextramind, and I love it. So if you have requests, I do have open spots on my calendar. It's just far and few between. And honestly, like for new clients, it's very limited. I definitely have a priority for previous clients, and that's just the way that I've run things for the last, 8 years. And I'm so grateful for my folks who are my retainer clients. And, obviously I get to do what I love because of them. And, I'm just at capacity because I could add more hours, but honestly, I feel like I would be, I would be dying if I did that. So just in a season of a lot of work right now, and fingers crossed, like summer slows down a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So jumping into the episode, I was asked, I should have pulled up the exact question here because I had it, but the question that I was asked was, in short, like, how do I manage having a lot to do and avoiding overwhelm? And I have the full question here. It says, when you have 1 million things to do, how do you beat the overwhelm? Do you get that? And I think that person was just like, do you ever feel that way? Okay. So yes. So we'll start there. I definitely feel that way. Now, before I dive into like what I do when I feel that way, number one is I feel like you kind of have to have a background of what my job is. I think on the podcast, you know, I talk a lot about what I do, but like on social media, I don't really share the ins and outs of my day. So if I were to give you like what my role is in business and like what I do, and if we were to like boil down my job into a line, I would say that I am the manager of to-do lists. I am the manager of multiple business owners' to-do lists. And that's just like their to-do list for their digital side of stuff. I'm not like over here planning, you know, client paperwork, etc. for them. Like, no, but I am the manager of like the digital to-do list and the executor of said to-do list. So at any given moment, I have many business owners' to-do lists on my brain. And so, you know, there was a time where it felt super overwhelming in the beginning because I was just like, I'm literally, and I'm also very high functioning. So I think like that is also like, you have to do like a complete comparison. I'm very high functioning, and the management side for me is actually what kind of drives me, I suppose. So when I think about, you know, the actual role that I have, if someone else was like, I could never manage a to-do list outside of my own, like I totally understand that. And I'm not trying to say that you should be able to do any of these things in managing multiple people. But when it comes down to it, when I'm the manager of multiple people's to-do lists and I create to-do lists for people as well, I have to block things and I have to have lists. Now, outside of client management, I'm just going to talk about how I manage things because yes, I do have the moment of overwhelm where I'm like, I have so much to do. I don't know where to start. So what I like to do is I like to make a master list. And this is like, I'm talking every single thing because I live to cross things off. So I'm going to say this now, if you're a writer and you're not a digital person, like a digital checkbox or like a digital note, if you're a writer with a notebook, which I am, I just need to tell you, it's okay to not switch to be a digital person. Like I've tried so many times to switch my to-do list to be digital, which there are so many benefits. I have it on my phone. I have it on my computer. Oh man, I forgot something. I could go look at it because I'm out doing something else and I don't have that list. Like I understand I don't have to bring a planner everywhere. Like I understand like having a digital to-do list is a game changer, but I can't do it. So my to-do list is always a written note. Calendar, by the way, I did switch to a digital calendar probably about 4 years ago. And that was a big deal because everything was a paper planner, but I did need to switch. So for the to-do list, I say this like, I do it before I get overwhelmed. So I know that if I'm in a state of overwhelm, I haven't written down what I actually need to do. And in order to avoid the overwhelm, if I know that I have a lot to do and I have not yet hit the brain capacity explosion, I'll make the to-do list. But I know that at the end of the day, what I have to do is make a master list. And so I have like I actually don't know what size this is. It's not 8.5 by 11. It's a little bit smaller than that, but I have a notebook that I actually love. It's from Caliber and I got it from, I think it was like just from the drugstore, but the paper in it is so nice. So I have a Caliber notebook, and then the pen that I love, it's like, I'm actually going to order them online. It's called a Shans. I think that's a D. The D and the O are very, very similar. Shans. And it's an S637. It's called a Marble Starry Sky. This pen is amazing. I got it from Anna Hartman, who sent me a like a pen and paper subscription. and I love it. So I'm probably going to order more of those, but details that are very important to me that likely don't matter to you. For the to-do list, I do like a master brainstorm. So like right now I have every single, because I told you I'm planning for vacation. So I have every email that I need to write. I have every podcast I need to record. I have every prep work that I need to do for like autoresponders, website notices, etc. I have like stuff for my money and like banks and like calling Verizon, example, for like the plan, the overseas plan, and like I have everything written down. So literally it's a master list of every single thing I need to do. And between now and the time we leave, if something pops up that I need to do, I will add it to that list. And like, no matter how small or how big it is, I add it, because then I can like see what I need to do and I can cross things off. And this is what I do at any point in time. So before a launch, if I'm launching a product of my own, I'll write down every single thing that I need to do. And like, this could become, so this is where it's like a written to-do list and a digital to-do list. If you're doing something over and over again, it will save you time to make that a digital to-do list. That way you have it digitally. Like my SEO school launch, like it's the same thing each time, how many emails I'm sending, what products I need to do, like what offers, what connections I need to make. So all of that's the same every single time. So I can just, have that digitally and then just check the boxes online. But when it comes to overwhelm and beating overwhelm and having a plan, the master list always does it for me. And I say master list, it's not even that. It's just a literal brain dump. Like brain dump, what do I need to do? I just need to write it down. And then I will take it a step further and I'll go based on priority. Now, sometimes I go based on what I want to do. So if I know a task is like a 30-second task or a minute task, I will knock it out quickly because I know it's fast. If I know something's going to take me a long time, I typically will do that task right after I get done with like the 30-second tasks. And then I get into the tasks where I'm like, I just do things. I go down the list. As I can, I go down the list and I check them off. And, I think it's one of those things where I am just like everyone else in the world, where I will like hem and haw at doing something. And then when I get it done, I'm like, wow, that just took 30 seconds. Like I'm ridiculous for even thinking I needed to like, have a space in my brain to like, I don't know, dread it, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And I'll just go down the list. Now, one other thing that I feel like I do face is exactly that. Like there are tasks that I put off because I don't like doing them. Sometimes that's email. Oftentimes that's email. And if I'm in my email inbox and I'm like, I really don't want to do this, what I do is I set a timer and I will sit down, and the timer. It's usually 10 to 15 minutes. And I get done whatever I can get done in that 15-minute timer. And then I take a break and then I reset it and I do it as many times I need to do in order to finish that task. Just because then it gives me a hard start and a hard stop. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, I am working until 5 and like it's 4:20, and I will say, okay, at 5:00 I'm done, and then I will be done at 5. But that's like, obviously you have to hold yourself accountable to that. Like that's only going to be something that you can enact. It's not something that someone can do for you, which again is like, this comes with the business ownership side. And now lastly, I feel like if you're this person that asked this question, like I know they manage clients. So, I have to-do lists for clients. I have lists for clients, and I have to manage my time and my mental capacity effectively, because if I am spreading my mental bandwidth across multiple people at the same time, no one is getting my full brain, and I don't think that's fair. So if I know that a client needs something, or a client has emailed me and it requires more of my thought to like sit down, answer the email or answer the thing or add to their list or do a task for them. One, all of my clients are on like a schedule. So I have a block for them. And I got to talk about this at some point, but like every time I talk to someone in my industry, they're like, wow, that's a different way to do it. And like, they don't say it like, oh, that's silly. I have had people tell me that that's like a dumb way, basically. And I'll use the word dumb because they just didn't want to use the word dumb. And like, it's not advantageous for me because I am fast at working. So like an hourly rate really does shoot me in the foot because the amount of work that I get done in an hour is, just because I've worked with other people, I'm like, I do so much in an hour. It's insane. So, and again, I'm not saying that because I'm like on a pedestal. I have a capacity that I just cannot define. Like I can't put into words. I can't give you an example. I don't know. I don't know why I'm like that. I don't know. Someone had joked once and they're like, it's a touch of the tism. And I'm like, yes, like I'm definitely on the spectrum in some way, shape or form. And if this is my thing. So it's like, people are like, well, how do you get so much done? And I'm like, I genuinely cannot explain it to you. I don't know. I have no idea. Like it just feels natural to me. It doesn't feel crazy to me. But anyway, I have slots for people because I don't know what research it is, but it's whenever you task switch, it's 15 minutes on either side that you lose. So if I'm doing something and then a client texts me and I attend to their task, not only am I losing the 30 seconds that I just task switched, but I'm also losing 15 minutes on either side. And so for me, I'm like, that's a lot of time. If I were to switch tasks between clients and like attend to Voxer or attend to email every single minute of the day, I would lose so much time during the day. So everyone has their work period for me, and it's done so that I can protect my energy. Otherwise, it's like I care so much that I would have everyone on my brain at the same time. Whereas with my model, I can have one person on my brain at one time. And I know that I don't owe them anything between because they're very well aware of their relationship that we have and vice versa. And like, if they need something in between, they are more than welcome to talk to me, of course, like that is part of it. But then it goes into my Voxer block and my Voxer personal rules where I'm like, I'll get back to you in 48 hours and in business hours, etc. So that's like a really big thing. Now, another change that I implemented recently after I talked with Emma Jack is and this is going to be strategically done in August, but I am checking email and Voxer one time a day. So what I was doing is essentially like perpetual email checking, and it doesn't serve me, again, task switching. So I actually close my email throughout the day and I put my phone face down on my desk because I don't get notifications, but I have a work focus mode on my iPhone that will show Voxer notifications if it's during my work hours. And then obviously after work hours, I'm either using my brick or the focus mode of personal is on. So I don't see, nothing pops up. And what I've been doing is just flipping my phone over so I can't see notifications on my phone screen either. And I check email once a day and I check Voxer once a day. And that allows me to have a dedicated time block to check those things. And again, allows my energy to be spent elsewhere. I think the biggest part of overwhelm comes when we have too much time where our energy is unprotected. And then it all comes flowing in at once. And you're like, I feel overwhelmed. And it's just because it's been a long period of time where your energy has been split in so many different ways. And you're not able to collect enough data points where you have downtime or you felt organized or you had a dedicated work block. And if your brain works like that, which most people do, it's going to be really easy to feel overwhelmed if you never give yourself that time. And also energy breaks and energy flow state, etc. So I would say I am just like everyone else. Like there are times where I'm like, man, I feel like I have so much shit to do and I feel overwhelmed. And I know that once I hit that point, I actually missed the window of making my to-do list. And now there is no choice. I need to go write everything down or else I will sit in that spiral for a long time. And it's not helpful to me or anyone else. So I oftentimes will try to write like a brain dump list at least every couple of weeks. Big time. If I know I have a busy work week, I will write it down on Monday and I'll just say, here's all the things I need to do this week and I'll cross them off as I do them. But that is like a big thing. It's managing the energy every other second of the day and having the to-do list and the brain dump list to refer to and check things off accordingly. And also just embracing the way that you are. Like, I think across the entire, I'm going to say world, buckets, people, relationships, whatever, across everything in life, I feel like we're constantly trying to like change the way that we are. And because of what, I don't know, but I mean, some of it's like upholding the patriarchy, but I digress. Don't need to go down that road today, but like we're trying to change who we are and how our brain functions because someone else said it's the right way. I will tell you right now, I just said it before. If I was someone who was unable to stand in my method and the way that my method works, then every single person that I talk to, just because my method is something that not everyone else does, I would have changed it, and it would have been not good for me and not good for my clients. And because I can be like, no, actually, like this is why I do it and this is the value of it, I don't change it because I know why I do it and I know what the value is, and I can stand in that truth and ignore, the confused looks and the oh my God, explain that to me because I've never heard that type of stuff, because it is different and I know it's different, and it's just not the way that things are operated in the silo that I'm in. And that goes for anything. It's just like, if you don't think that something serves you, then don't try to like fit yourself into that box, and actually don't do it. Like, I feel like we'll be like, I don't fit in a box and I don't want to try to fit in a box, but then we'll still find ourselves trying to like mold into this box. So just try to not fit yourself into that box. Keep your written to-do list if you need that. Have it digitally if you need to do that. Make sure you have 15-minute breaks if you do that. So whatever we need to do, we just need to make sure that we're always honoring the fact that like we are the way that we are. And, Shantae has really pushed that with me too. It's just like, you don't have to wish yourself to be any different because you're not. So just sit in it and figure out a way that works for you. And I do think at this point, like I have figured out a way that works for me and works for me almost all the time. And when you go through the self-discovery and you figure out what doesn't work, like for me, digital to-do lists, then you will learn like, I just need to do what works for my brain and call it a day. All right. So if that individual listens to this podcast episode, which I hope they do, let me know if this helps. But if not, ask follow-up questions. Anyone else is also welcome to ask follow-up questions. I'm happy to help. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next time.